Right, how's it going? Back with another L video. Now, before we get into it, Happy New Year. Hope you've had a good Christmas. Hope you've enjoyed the break. We're going to quickly cover some of the stuff from the Wigan game. And yeah, so let's get into it. So as normal, we're going to quickly have a look at the lineups. And as we always do, I'm going to compare how I would have lined up the squad via how Ten Hag lined up. So on the screen here, we're going to have Ten Hag's lineup. And obviously, as we all know, Onana decided he wasn't going to go to the AFCON when most of the players have. So he stayed to do the Wigan game, and I think I saw somewhere that he wants to stay to also be here for the next Spurs game, which would then mean I think he misses Cameroon's first game, because I think that's a day or two or something after the Spurs game. Anyway, Ten Hag went with Onana in between the sticks. The defence line was Wan-Bissaka was on the right, Varane and Evans were two centre-backs, Dalot was on the left, which, look, it's not the worst. Now, picking Dalot at left-back, it makes sense to me. We don't really have any of our left-backs. I'm pretty sure Malacia is still injured. I don't know what's wrong with Shaw. I think he may have gotten a knock or something like that. But this is really all he could work with, so I don't really fault him for that defence line. It's when we move into midfield is where I start questioning Ten Hag. So the double pivot he picked was MAINOO and McTominay as our centre mids. I have no problem with MAINOO. It's the selection of McTominay that I question. Fernandes obviously in that attacking midfielder role. Two wingers on the right was Garnacho, on the left Rashford, as we know, and then up front our striker was Højlund. Now, so that was Ten Hag's selection. This would have been my personal selection. Let us know down below whose selection do you prefer. Do you like what Ten Hag did, or do you think you would have liked to see my lineup? We start with Bayindir in goal. Look, if you're gonna purchase two keepers and purchase one as a backup keeper, you think you'd want to play your backup keeper in these sorts of games, get him involved. But I personally would have went Bayindir. The defensive line, pretty much the same. Only difference is I would have played Cambuala over Varane. I just think with cups like this, you should mix in some of your young players. That's just my opinion. The rest though, the same. I'm like on the right, Dalot on the left, and then Evans as the left centre back. Midfield pivot, I actually would have went Dan Gore and Cobby MAINOO, the main man. He's doing good. I fucking love him. He's doing so well for us. I think he is something special. I think we have don't think he's going to be like the same level as the likes of Jude Bellingham, but I do think he could be the same kind of level as like a Scholes or one of those, top class, but not a world beater. I actually would have played Palestri at attacking mids. I just think he could do a job there, do a shift there if needed. Moving on to our wingers, I would have picked Garnacho, and I would have put Ahmad on the left. Now, I'm not sure if he was sick or something like that, because there has been a few players out recently due to illness, but that's just kind of how I would have went with it. Striker, again, Højlund. There's not many changes or any other striker we can really pick. But yeah, that's lineup I would have gone with. Again, I'm going to show on the screen both of the lineups. Please let me know whose do you prefer. Do you prefer the one Ten Hag went with, or do you think mine would have been a good option? So at this stage, I want to quickly have a look at what I think did work with this team, and that starts with MAINOO. He controlled that midfield. He did. Anyone who says he didn't obviously has the vision of Stevie Wonder. Let's say that he just did. He controlled the midfield for us. He actually did his job, unlike the likes of McTominay, which I will get onto in the part of what didn't work. But he just did something special. He was in tackles, his vision, he was watching the play when he had the ball. Who's free? Who can I move it to? Where can I go? All that. His awareness and his vision it's beyond his ears at times. So that's one of the things that worked for me, and what I think worked well with the team. Obviously, Rashford's pass to Dalot, that worked, right? And again, back to McTominay, it's something I will cover more in also what didn't work for me. But that pass, it's we need more of that. We need more of that passing into players that are in space instead of this trying to, you know, create something from nothing. But it was a nice pass, nice clean pass to Delo, and obviously the other thing that did work was Delo's goal. That was so clean, the way he caught it. Everything about that goal is what we're missing and what we need more of. Obviously you'd like it to be coming from Hoyland, that type of goal, but goal is a goal, and when it's a nice one for your team, you're gonna be happy about it. So now we're moving into what didn't work, and there's a lot for me that didn't work. Obviously I was talking about MAINOO and what did work, and now I'm going to quickly talk about McTominay. It's not going to be quickly, realistic. He just doesn't work. He doesn't work in that midfield double pivot. He hasn't, and he won't. This is one of my biggest problems with Ten Hag. We'll move on to another one that I have, because that's also in this section of what didn't work. And for me, right, McTominay won't work unless you're going to play him as a centre forward, attacking mid, kind of in that area. It doesn't work as a central mid. We've seen it in umpteen games now where he's played as part of a double pivot, and over time he drifts into that centre forward role. He drifts into that area, leaving whoever else is supposed to be his partner in that double pivot alone in that midfield, and they get overrun. So why Ten Hag continuously picks him as part of a double pivot, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know whether he's doing something in training that makes him think he can do that, and then just doesn't do it on the pitch. Which, if a player's like that, sell them. Just sell. If they can only do it in the training ground and not on the field, fucking sell them. They're useless. They can't work and they won't work. Get rid. But his continuous lack of awareness of his position and what he's supposed to do. Like, people out there will say he survived so long because he follows your orders to a T. Clearly he doesn't. Unless Ten Hag is telling him to move up into a centre forward role, what's the point in the double pivot then? Why play that double pivot? Why choose a line-up when you have him positioned in a centre mid if you're going to get him to play centre forward anyway? Why do that? Why go out and spend money on Hoyland? Now, I don't have a problem with Hoyland. I really like Hoyland. But what's the point in spending that amount of money if you're going to use Scott and tell him to start off in the midfield and then move into a centre forward role? What's the point? There is no point. So therefore it makes me believe that he just does it. And he just does it by choice. Which, why? Why are you doing that? Because when we're caught out, or whoever you're partnered up with in the midfield, MAINOO, Amrabat, whoever it is, when they're caught off guard because you've fucked off into a position you're not supposed to be in and they're overrun, they look bad. And then they get abuse. Not you, who's fucked off out of position, gone down the local shop, done all that, while they're getting overrun. What's the point? So unless you're going to play him as that centre forward attacking role, bin him. Fucking bin him. Get money from him. Fuck him out the club. I don't want to hear he's this, he's that, he has passion, he's that. That's cool. That's fine. You can be passionate about the club, you can love the club. Doesn't mean you're good enough. I'd fucking put everything into playing for United, but I'm not good enough to play for United, so I'm not a player for United. It's running off of passion and that's shite. It's not good enough. It's not. Another thing that links back to something that I thought did work, as I said, is Rashford's pass to Delo. That worked. But it also didn't work in a way because it's not the first thing he does. And that's what annoys me about Rashford. He'll have passes and assists like that one with Delo. You know, he looks up, he sees Delo's free, pops it out to Delo. Delo fucking scores. That's not his first thing we saw in that game as well. We saw it fairly early on where Garnacho got the ball, did some passes, ended up with Rashford, and Garnacho made a move and got into the box, and Hoyland was there as well, and there was a window where Rashford could have just laid it off, through ball, square ball, whatever you want to fucking do, into that box. One of them would get to it. but he didn't. Instead, he held it, and then he turned, and then he turned, and he took a shot. So he either holds it for too long and doesn't get the pass off in the right window space that he has. He doesn't pass and just fucking does fancy fucking skills and then loses it. Or what happens more often than not, he shoots. What the fuck? You are a winger, okay? Fucking pass. Pass it. I get Ten Hag likes using inverted wingers. Fine. But when you can't get that fucking shot off, pass it to someone else who can. None of this shite of, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna fucking spin, I'm gonna do whatever. Or backheel it to the fucking... What are you doing? What are you doing? Simple pass and go. Pass and go. Pass and go. And the more you pass, and the more you go, there'll eventually be a window that opens up where you can take that shot. We'd rather get the ball and try and shoot first time, and either it gets saved, it's deflected, or it ends up fucking rosette. Now, obviously, when it came to Scott and McTominay, that I said it's his consistent picking up McTominay is one of my biggest problems with him being Ten Hag. But my biggest problem with him right now is the lack of subs. I'm going to touch on it here because it was the same in this game as it is in every game. He plays his starting 11, and obviously more often than not he picks his best 11. You're the manager, you're going to pick your best 11. But he runs them ragged. He doesn't use subs consistently. He doesn't do them early enough. Like we saw extra time. Extra time is when he brought on subs. I think he brought Palestri on 88th minute or something like that. Like, what's the point at that stage? Your players are already fucking knackered. And then you'll see players have this affect players in the same way it's affected Casemiro. I don't think Casemiro's shit. I don't think he's at the end of his career. I don't think he's become shit all of a sudden. I think he's just fucking knackered from last season. I think he has bad games. Everybody has bad games. But this shit of fucking playing your best 11 and then having them play a full game. What's the point of bringing subs then at that stage? Make subs. For me, the perfect time to make your subs is between the 60th and 70th minute. Right? In that window, I think is the best time to make subs. Not only does that mean your best players play majority of that game and all of that and keep the quality as good as we can possibly keep them, but it gives the subs then a bit of room to kind of get into the flow game, right? Because if you bring them on in the 80th minute, they have 10 minutes, right? Let's say it takes them 4 or 5 minutes to actually get into the flow of the game, okay? That's half their time already gone. So they have spent 5 minutes getting into the flow game, or however long. They then have however long to fucking create something. Palestri has had this umpteen times where he only gets on in the last fucking 10 minutes. And then he only starts warming in and the game's fucking over. And then you'll see people going, holy shit, he's not good enough, he doesn't do enough. Doesn't have time to get into the flow of shit. What do you want from him? What do you want from players that come on when the game's practically over? So it's the leaving to last minute or just not using subs at all that is really starting to annoy me, because it obviously then affects our starting 11. They're fucking knackered. For the next game, you have a game, 3-4 days later you're expecting to play another 90 minutes. Like, chill out, man. Make some subs. Not only does it then help you weed out what players aren't good enough, that's MAINOO, Ahmad, Dango, all those, you bring them as subs and you give them a little bit of time on the pitch. It just makes sense to me. And as I said, that 60 to 70th minute window, perfect time. Gives them that bit of wiggle room to get used to the flow of the game and actually make a difference then. Right, so that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. Again, let me know which of the lineups you preferred. Are you happy with the 110 hack went with, or would you have preferred to see the one that I personally would have run? But anyway, as I said, that's it. I'll toss you the next one. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Talk to you next time.